You know, like this last one. Oh. Wow. 36 more left is going crazy with Super Chat. So is it first a $5 Super Chat? He says games designed around maximizing player retention using behavioral psychology techniques like variable rewards, daily incentives, and fear of missing events. Yeah, it's called the mobile game mentality because that's exactly how they hook you playing
Come
mobile video
on,
games
buddy.
is to make you want to play every day, even if you're not having a meaningful experience. Because at least if you're engaged in playing every day, you get something out of it. 36 more left, and another $5 super chat says, at what point does it go from good design into unethical manipulation? At the initial point. At the initial point. When these people are sitting down and outright designing their game around addictive behaviors, they already have ethical decision making because that's a decision that's active. It's not, oh, we made a game and by accident it's addictive. We didn't mean to make it addictive. It just kind of is. No, they know what they're doing. They know the formula. It's not like video games just got invented yesterday. Video games have been out since what, the 1950s, 60s in some form, and they've been a part of prominent human culture since the 1980s. We know what we're doing now. So you know what sticks, what's addictive, what people crave, and what want to go back to, even if it's good or bad for them, right? You don't, and these people don't care. They just want you to keep coming back every day, so they have that revenue stream, right? That's what they want. Games as a service. Games as a subscription. Games as ongoing income with microtransactions and reasons to go back every single day.
Naturally.
I think what we're going to have is we're going to have a big divide because more gamers today are tired of this. They don't want games as a service. They don't want games that it's a constant investment of time and money. They just want good experiences overall with their games, and they want to feel like there's value to what they're playing. And these games that become addictive and just this ongoing investment of time, you don't really get that. It's more of, well, it's time for me to do my daily grind in this. Here I go. And then you get that little release of whatever it is in your head that makes you feel better because you did your daily task in there and then, oh, okay, right? As opposed to, wow, I'm blown away by what I'm doing. Who is in there blown away by what they did in a mobile game on their phone, right? Ever. Ever one. But that's that addictive formula. They're trying to hook, right? 36 more left and another $2 super chat said it's horrible that as gamers all become money grabs, and a lot of it is. Not everything, but a lot of it is. A lot of it is a quick money grab. And it's sad that it's become that way. And that's why we have to be more careful. We have to be more careful as gamers and understand that we are actually
We
being
just shaved off
targeted
4 seconds.
as a cultural group of people who want to get money and stuff out of us. And they're
Are you
trying to
shitting
find
me?
ways to get us to spend on garbage. They are. They're actively doing it every day. They're trying to say, how do we get more money out of this group of people without providing any value? Because we just want the money. Daddy Big Bucks resubscribed to my kick for 10 months. Thank you, Daddy Big Bucks, for the auto resub. And in fact, that's the only sub of the day so far on Kick. So thank you for that, even though you're not even there. I know you probably don't even hear me saying thank you, but I appreciate the auto resub. What's up, Gabriel? How are you doing today? It's good to see you. Princess Luna, thank you for a $5 super chat. I would rather play a charming short indie game than a soulless AAA. Me too. And that's what we've been doing. If you haven't noticed as of late, that's exactly the kind of stuff that I've been enjoying a lot more here on the channel. And that's why I'm happy that I have the freedom to do that. Having a gaming PC and not being limited to a budget for buying games and stuff has meant the world to my content, that's for sure, right? Someone took $2 and I bet you'd rather have the problem you have now of too many games to play than the problem you used to have for your gaming PC of too little. But like just a few years ago, if the latest AAA was a flop, you were screwed for a month in terms of stuff to do. You're absolutely right. I right now am in a happy dilemma. The happy dilemma is that I'm playing too many good games and we're having fun with all of them. Because like I said, what I was trying to do is figure out maybe this week if there's a game or two people aren't liking as much, we drop. That's not happening. So far, every game we played has done pretty good. So we're not dropping anything. But I was like, well, what about the new games coming out this week? Uh-oh. Yeah, we're in a much better spot right now than we have ever been before. That's for sure. When it comes to creation, games and content, series, everything, we're good. I'm so happy to have the bomb ass setup here for everything I do. A great monitor, amazing gaming PC, great controllers, and everything. Everything that we can do, and the ability to jump into any game that you guys want on the fly. It's a pretty awesome feeling. It's something that I wanted for so long, and now we have. Sylvania says,
No,
I still hold the original Mass Effect trilogy as a standard for great gameplay and amazing story or
I can't
storytelling.
do
Do
the
you think that
cut.
style will ever make a big comeback? Here's the thing. It
I can't do the
could.
cut.
There's a market for it. The problem is we have a decade or more of track record of it not existing anymore. Therefore, the modern gamer doesn't even understand it. Okay? There's a reason why Crimson Desert has become a popular game. And I hate to say it, it's not because of the quality of the game. It's because we have a whole generation of gamers
I can't
that never
take
had
the cut.
games that provided everything in one package. If you don't understand what I mean, when was the last time that you truly played a game that had amazing graphics, interesting and well-written story, gameplay elements that hooked you and actually were unique and different? Okay? I can keep going. I'm basically just naming the general things that you would want out of a great game. Notably, a AAA game, because probably those are the only games that could afford all of those things in their budgets, right? But when was the last time you played a game that just hit every box? With Crimson Desert, you could argue, well, the game looks good.
Smash
The
Bros.
game has a lot of content. But what about the story? Is it any good? Not really. Let's be honest. A lot of people just, well, Crimson Desert doesn't have a story. It simply doesn't have a story to
Oh,
like
perfect.
that.
That should work.
It's not that good. Because it's supposed to have a story. Man. Plus, it's indie. If it's $10 game, and all you're doing is a repetitive gameplay and you Mega Man.
Oh, wow.
It needs to have a fucking story. The people there, you want to go back and see the where the story was the thing. Instead, the game is just of an insane amount of content, none of it really making any sense. I said, the light content, that's the thing, plays that on the level of the game to play with every single box check. No. River Desert doesn't really stand there to the great game of 10, 15 years ago. It's just awesome. Well, with modern Indigo, these games just don't have quality. You have to get step one step in shortcut. Point. That's good. Okay, look at Resident Evil. That's overall survival horror games that first person kind of speaking. Okay, you got some cheesy stuff, that B movie horror stuff that you want in a game like that, but also had a plot that tied in with the original Resident Evil. That movie control. Okay, like arguably, what can you criticize? Like, what was the worst part of Resident Evil?
It could be played.
Word? That it's short. But also about the horror games have been short, right? Or maybe, but that's the thing on all cylinders. Really, it's rare when you get a game that you can check off every box, and I think that Resident did it. Last year, we had quite a few games. Victory Break 3, the Blueprints, but those games checked off every box. But it's almost really so, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the problem. You're right. When you're looking at Mass Effect Trilogy and you're like, damn, those games had it. Yeah, what happened? Then they came out with Andromeda, and immediately it was like, oh, we can't do that anymore. We sacrificed the way the graphics looked, the models weren't good, the gameplay fell apart. What the hell happened? Yeah, I don't know. The villain EXE did a $5 super chat asking, "What's your favorite Castlevania gaming character?" To be honest with you, the villain,
You're shitting
I
me.
didn't really get to play much Castlevania in my lifetime. Like I played Castlevania 1 through 3, and I think I rented 4 back in the day. I never owned a game. Okay, and then after that, I did play Symphony of the Night, but I never beat it. I got to the inverted castle. I never played past it. Um, I do think I had a Castlevania game like on the DS, but I don't remember which one it was. And I don't think I did many playthroughs of any kind of Castlevania until the new ones that came out for YouTube. Remember, there was it Castlevania Lords of Shadow 1 and 2? I played both of those. Okay, and that's about it. So I haven't really played. There was like entire generations of Castlevania games I missed out on that I skipped. Same thing with Metroid too. Like I missed out on a lot of Metroid stuff. So I don't really think like I'm well versed to say what I think is the best. From my experience, I do think that Super Castlevania or Castlevania 4 is the best one, but maybe it's Symphony of the Night, and I just never got far enough to actually say that's better. I
No.
would play Symphony of the Night, so I would. You gotta sneeze again. I told you guys my nose is all screwed up today. Beaver Bother, thanks for $1.50.
Beaver bothered.
You are full of baloney.
You are full of baloney.
Beaver Bother trying to be stupid. My nose is running. I'm about to sneeze again. All right, I think what we'll do, let's end the show. Let me blow my nose, and then we'll get set up and we'll play Crimson Desert. All right? So for the record, I think tomorrow, we will formally do another podcast. It'll be a little bit on the longer side, but I will still try to get a lot of Dragon Quest gameplay in, because I want to do another podcast this week, but I don't want to do it Thursday or Friday because we got 2 new releases coming out. So tomorrow would be the day to do the podcast. So I think no morning show tomorrow. We'll actually do the level 1 podcast. And we'll get the thing. That's fun. Thank you for watching the DSP Morning Show. I hope you'll stick around for Crimson Desert. Thank you so much. See you soon.
Wow.
Every Marine officer at the rank of ensign and above is permitted to wear the white coat with justice emblazoned on the back. It drapes over the shoulders like a cape, arms never through the sleeves, as if the concept of justice is something you carry but never truly inhabit. But what makes the admirals fascinating when you take a deeper look at all of them individually is that 4 men wear the exact same word on their backs and mean 4 completely irreconcilable things by it. And yeah, I know that Sakaguchi is not an admiral anymore, with him being the position of fleet admiral currently. But for the sake of this video, and my personal fascination with him, I'm going to cover him alongside all 3 admirals in this video. Sakaguchi represents that justice is the annihilation of all threat, real or potential. Morcelino represents that justice is whatever I'm willing to say. Don't make me think it's right. Isho represents that justice is the protection of me, even from the institution that claims to protect them. And Aramaki represents that justice is hierarchy, and hierarchy is God. This isn't an accident. Oda is using the Marines and the admirals for the degree to make a structural argument about institutions. An institution doesn't need its members for free. It needs them to obey. The code is a uniform, and uniforms are designed to make different men look the same, but they're not the same. They have never been the same. And the deeper we go into the Flying Saga, the more violently the differences are. But before we can compare the event, we need to understand what each one actually believes. Sakazuki's motto is an extension of absolute justice, the Marines' institutional orthodoxy. In practice, filial justice means to eliminate the possibility of evil, not just its manifestation. It's not enough to stop the crime. You destroy the conditions that could produce it. You burn the field so nothing grows back. During the Buster call on...
Of course he plays on this goofy ass stage, bro.
Construction of an evacuation ship carrying civilians and fellow Marines. His logic behind that, if even a single scholar had managed to board that ship, the entire operation, the sacrifice, the Buster call, the live...
double roll into the wall for no reason.
The government's explicit orders were to eliminate scholars, not civilians. Sakazuki exceeded those orders on his own initiative. This is critical. He didn't follow a command. He interpreted it, and his interpretation was the margin of error for evil must be zero. Kuzan, standing nearby, called him a fool and an idiot for overdoing. When the young Marine Kobe stood on the battlefield and begged the Marines to stop fighting, the war was functionally over. Ace was dead, Whitebeard was dying. Sakazuki's response was to attempt to execute him on the spot. A
Ah,
Marine,
you
a
slow.
boy, for the crime of asking for mercy. In Sakazuki's moral framework, mercy in wartime is desertion, and desertion is death. Sakazuki deliberately provoked Ace by insulting Whitebeard. Knowing that Ace's love for his captain was the one lever that could stop his escape, Ace had to die not because of what he done, but because of who his father was. Goldie Roger. Heritage in Sakazuki's worldview was a form of pre-crime. Sakazuki has alienated nearly every moral actor of the Marines. Kuzan resigned, rather than serve under him after a 10-day duel on one pattern. Garp tried to kill his men after Ace's death. Fujitora openly defied him on national broadcast. The man built the most powerful version of the Marines in history. Jinbei himself acknowledged that the Marine HQ became far stronger and more determined under Sakazuki, but he built it on fear, not loyalty. Sakazuki cannot conceive that the institution itself might be the source of evil. He yells at the five elves. He calls CP0 the Celestial Dragon's puppets. He clashes with the World Tokens, but he never takes the next line. If the system you search reduces Dopamine, checks the Celestial Dragons, and covers the O'Hara, maybe the system is the disease, not the cure. He is a man who can see corruption everywhere except in error. Forcefully of thought translates more precisely as wrong communal justice, the justice of a man who refuses to pick a side. He describes himself as a cog in a wheel, and he means it as both an explanation and an offense. He arrives at Savoy to handle the straw hat situation and proceeds to casually annihilate four supernovas with minimal effort, individually defeating each with single attacks. He knocks down a mangrove by accident and brushes it off. He politely asks clean carrots who just shot him if they can help to find his acquaintance. The violence is absolute, but the demeanor is empty. There's no anger or conviction behind his actions. He might as well be violent with action. During the siege of Egghead,
I was not down being, but okay.
terrified and cried out for Kizaru, who was supposed to be incapacitated, secretly got up at light speed, delivered food to Luffy, and returned to feigning injury. He did this while Saturn was president. He did not defy authority, did not declare rebellion. He just quietly made sure one person capable of saving Bonnie and Vegapunk had enough energy to try. This is the most Kizaru action imaginable. Passive resistance disguised as inaction. Kizaru had known Vegapunk for 26 years. They traveled together. They ate pizza together. Vegapunk studied Kizaru's devil fruit and built the pacifist program from his lasers. They raced Sentomaru together. And when the order came to kill Vegapunk, Kizaru carried it out. He told Luffy he didn't want it to do. He told Vegapunk he wished he brought darker glasses to hide his emotions. And then he stabbed his oldest friend through the chest with a sword of light. Afterward, he lay on the deck brainwashed, broken. When Sakaguchi respected him and questioned his performance, Kizaru, the calmest, most easygoing man in the entire series, snapped. He called Sakazuki an ungrateful brat, teared his eyes, furious that the fleet admiral could not understand the weight of what he'd just been forced to do. Sakazuki stopped, apologized, and called his brother. Kizaru has sacrificed human soul, not metaphorically, functionally. He has spent decades executing orders he doesn't believe in, and the egghead incident finally broke him down. He killed the person closest to him in the world. He lacked the courage to say no. He fed Luffy because he lacked the courage to say yes. He exists in the space between those two failures. Rather than by himself the world I'm just a cog in a machine. He is absolved. But the egghead arc moves off. It's the cog that turns the machine is complicit in everything the machine does. Kizaru's unfair justice mechanism. And at Egghead, it stopped working.
Wow.
Isho's justice motto translates as virtuous justice, or justice with humanity. He is the only admiral whose ideology explicitly centers the people rather than the institution. Where Sakazuki asks, is this lawful? And Kizaru asks, is this my problem? Fujitora asks, are people being protected? After Doflamingo's defeat at Dressrosa, Fujitora gathered the
Masher.
Marines and prostrated himself before King Riku III on live broadcast, apologizing on behalf of the world government for allowing a warlord to enslave an entire kingdom. This was deliberate political sabotage. Sakazuki wanted to spin the narrative, claim the Marines handled Doflamingo, take credit for the liberation. Fujitora made that impossible by broadcasting the apology. He forced the world to see what the warlord system had produced, a tyrant with government protection. Sakazuki's response was to ban Fujitora from every marine base until he captured Luffy and Law. Fujitora was content with this, because his opinion of marine justice was already in the gutter. He did not try to defeat Doflamingo and Dressrosa. He explicitly bet on Luffy to do it, because a pirate saving a kingdom from a government-sanctioned warlord was the most damning indictment of the system possible. When Luffy fled afterward, Fujitora lifted the rubble of Dressrosa into the air, not to attack, but to drop it on Doflamingo's pursuing allies as a farewell gift. Then comes one of my single most favorite scenes in media. He said he wished he hadn't blinded himself, because he wanted to see Luffy's face. Let that sink in. An admiral of the Marines, expressing regret that he can't look at the pirate he just deliberately let escape. Fujitora conspired with King Riku and King Cobra of Alabasta to push for the abolition of the seven warlords of the sea and the Reverie. He succeeded. He also, during the Revolutionary Army's assault on Mary Jo, permitted freed slaves to escape with the revolutionaries rather than recapture them for the celestial dragons. An admiral of the world government letting slaves flee.
No! Okay, he killed himself.
But Fujitora has a ruthless edge that people often overlook. He let Dressrosa burn while waiting for Luffy to beat Doflamingo. Citizens died during the birdcage. He was powerful enough to intervene and chose not to, because the long game, exposing the warlord system's rot, mattered more to him than the immediate crisis. His morality is real, but it's also a gambler's calculus. He rolls dice to decide whether to pursue Luffy. He treats political reform like a bet at the roulette table. There is something cold underneath the compassion. Fujitora's self-blinding is the most symbolically rich act of any admiral. He gouged out his own eyes because he had seen too many things he didn't want to see. The atrocities of the world government, the warlords, the celestial dragons. But blindness is also a limitation. He is trusting. He was nearly swindled by Doflamingo's thugs at a roulette table because he took their word for where the ball landed. His faith in people, in Luffy, in Riku, in the possibility of reform, is beautiful, but it may not survive contact with the full truth of the Void Century. What exactly will happen to a man who blinded himself to escape the world's evil when he learns that the evil goes all the way to the bottom? Aramaki's motto translates literally as justice if it kills me, but a more accurate read might be justice through total commitment to hierarchy. Aramaki is in many ways the simplest admiral. He is also in many ways the most disturbing. In Wano, after draining the imprisoned beast pirates with his devil fruit and marching toward the flower capital, Aramaki delivered one of the most chilling monologues in the entire series. Humankind has lasted through the ages by creating and defining the inferior. All the rest of us can look down our noses at you unaffiliated countries. Discrimination creates solace. He is openly endorsing a caste system with the celestial dragons at the top, and everyone else ranked by their proximity to power. All the people of Wano, they have no human
Well, that
rights.
thing crashes out again.
No fun intro or banter today. I'm just genuinely annoyed. I came across this just randomly this morning. I was going to talk about something else. We'll talk about it tomorrow. This was posted by Karo TFJ, number one hater, and it's Leffen. You'll never guess what he's saying to this Guilty Gear player
Killed
while playing
themselves.
online.
He's probably told them to kill
Wait,
themselves.
wait. There are no normal fucking strike players, man.
There's no
I'm the
normal
only
players.
normal strike player. I swear to fucking God, bro. High foot job, like, oh my God, kill yourself.
Oh! I knew it.
Oh, it's so funny. Oh, Testament foot job. Oh, British foot job. Oh, Viking foot job. Die. Okay, I'm playing rank. What's the most cancer color?
Tell someone to himself, then die, and then wants to pick the most cancer color. Sexualizing while playing that. Guilty here. If anyone knows that, it's me. But also, you're the only normal Strive player. You're like a fucking sociopath. This is sociopath. Normal Strive player. Obviously, you got called out for this. You know what community here.
I got the wrong gears.
It's a toss-up. You either
No, I
stay
need a
half the
list.
community or half the community is giving you good old handy. In response to the backlash for this, Leffen makes a post saying, "Listen, guys, I fully realize that I'm not a normal person. I play video games for a living, and I obsess about them every single day. But yeah, what some of the weirdest parts of the Strive scene thinks is okay to do in a community full of
Damn it,
minors,
bro.
that shit makes me crash out. My bad." So he's saying he's crashing out because he just cares about children so much, even though he's a grown ass man that plays video games for a living and can't control his temper. Leffen's also the guy to complain about toxicity in a community, but the second that something he deems is worthy of it, he'll tell someone to kill himself. And no, obviously it wasn't just one random who had a sex joke as a name. And yes, my joke went too far. But if you guys had seen how bad it is, what people do in the massive public matchmaking servers, let alone the smaller ones. Okay, it's okay. So it's okay because it's happened a lot. Leffen's seen the truth, he's seen everything. You guys just don't know enough. I'm surprised he still has the heart to make these kind of jokes after witnessing someone in his own community, someone that he knew for a long time, over a decade, actually jump in front of a train. It's still just jokes to him. He ignored that for a full year. To reference myself, real quick. Also, just given the recent fact that Leffen doesn't give a shit about hacks actually dying.
If I say something, well, leave it. If I don't say something, I'll leave it over. I'd rather just not talk about it if I can. So I said, I'd rather not play the game if I can't play. If there's anything I can ever do that will make these people happy.
He's just not going to play the game. He's not going to play the game. He's going to pretend like hacks didn't die for over a full year now at this point, but it's still a really funny joke to him a year later. It's not enough for him to avoid any accountability. It's not enough for him to still have a sponsor, still be in these communities, still be winning some tournaments here and there. He also has to be seen as a good person while doing it. Do you not know how to quit when you're ahead? Oh, you don't understand, guys. I told that guy to end his life because I care about children so much. You don't even care about other human lives, and you want people in your comments to believe that you care about kids now. You're the kid defender. This guy will say any combination of words to get out of having accountability for a reason. Not to mention that glorification or promotion of self-harm is against the community guidelines on Twitch. I know he put on the in-game at the end there. People, in-game. I didn't really know. And tell 4 hours and 4 times.
Right.
Yeah, it's not enough that he still plays good for a living after being part of someone actually ending in life. He also needs to be praised for it. He also needs to be praised for it. He also has to be allowed to make jokes about it and refuse to real punishment. What a guy. What a stand-up guy. Then, of course, we have some conversations going on around it. Lurie. Little Lurie from the past Guilty Gear Degenerates covered. I don't know what he's being grilled for here.
For saying what?
Right about what?
I don't know. Right? I was like, what were we saying he was wrong about?
You guys all fucking suck. And you have a ton of disgusting people in the team that are addicted to porn. And you're surprised when you see sexual women gathering? You guys are running around in polycules. And you're surprised that people have sexual names. And you have a ton of disgusting people in the team that are and you're surprised when you see sexual names on the game? You guys are running around in polycules. And you're surprised concerned. The game has to die on. He's the biggest fucking cryboy.
You have the same thing he's saying 4 times in a row.
This guy's been a public figure in the fighting space for how long, and he doesn't have the common sense to not fall to the same
Like, I
standard.
need to work out of the loop.
Like, let's so one reply to this tweet where he's thinking excuses for himself. This person, Bingles, Goose, has more sense than Lexington. Yeah, it's bad, but you have a responsibility as a public figure to be a bigger person. I think this card it out and it's weird, and we should actually encourage people not to have names like that. I think there could have been a positive conversation and less hate. Yeah, I think doing that instead of telling people to end their life would be a better choice. But we're talking about Leffen here, who is a victim of everyone else, and he's just responding. That's just the only response he can think of. How can he still joke about I don't understand how he can stay. You got away with it, dude. You got away with it. You couldn't just take that dub. You have to also be let off the hook for joking about other people doing it. Okay, man. Whatever. It's just another day of nothing ever happens. Clef's probably gonna cry that he even got criticized for this. Guys, drop it. It was just a joke. I know it's been over a year and I pretended like hacks never died. And now I'm telling other people to end their life on ladder. But guys, it's just a joke, bro. Can we let it go? Can we please just drop it? That would be really convenient for me. Anyways, that's it for today. I don't feel like doing a fun little escape outro. I'm just really fucking annoyed. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Blondie over here waving gang signs, spawning in a solar flare. With Nazi and shit on. But hey, it slips in as that body open. Accident precious. Jogo locked in. It's just a genjutsu. With the real attack coming in fast. But they get countered. Iketsu has arrived. Immediately getting his blade broken. He just joined the battle and got hurt in some seconds. Tragic. And just listen to what Sasuke says to his squad. Oh man. You cannot Skinny didn't see I'm telling you, you gotta be on a period or something. Period. Something that we don't know about is going on in the brain. Yo, to make things worse, Jugo decides to increase the number of lunatics by including himself in the equation. Like fully releasing the first part, it's about to be a mess. Growing organic exhaust pipes from his back. I can't cap though. The fit not even bad. Let's be real, especially for him just wearing a damn curtain. But he's full crash out mode. So Angel can look at him speed blitz, striking him into the wall. And as the smoke clears, we see a damn meat shield. And I'm sorry, but that's not stopping you from this time. Nice. Go to sleep, you go, is what I thought. Not a tail beast. Meanwhile, with everyone distracted, Sasuke puts feet into a genjutsu. This dance just enough foreshadowing is straight up spooky. Jugo then pops back up with a hole in his chest, crashing out saying, nigga, who's next? But sir, that spine is open. Lord, that damn home run. Well, your ass finna be cheesing while getting discombobulated. He crazy. As A turns around to get the 1v1 started with Sasuke. There's been many distractions, but it's finally time. And his first action was to blitz him from behind with a Shidori blade. So that's not happening. Literally let himself get hit there. In my opinion, I don't think you should use lightning on a lightning man. But Sasuke doesn't agree. Jeffrey, we get one of the cleanest transmissions in the show. They done cook with that sword drop. Coming in, showers unactivated. Weaving his elbow, thrusting a dagger in his chest. Doing no damage. We got on his fingers stuck, taking a dangerous position. Rather killing tomorrow's river. Flipping the UCI upside down, power running him into the ground. In his elbow. What? That opens itself a narrative. Dragon's power being revealed collapse the mystery that makes him threatening. The world government fears Dragon more than the Yonko, and part of what makes him feared is that he can speak our conflict. Oda is preserving that asymmetry on what is his full role in God's no one would dare the we know his safe future and what we don't know is whether he was a passive observer to the worst parts of what whether he involved with more heroic, more consistent, or more morally
Oh,
or dragging focus arc in the end. What does his end game look like? This is the most analytically important. Dragon has spent 30 years in the organization from its capital government. Yes, not as far as we know working with this. What comes after? What government? What structure? What world of Dragon victory do you? Does Dragon know about Voidborn or Ghost Sensor and making cosmic world? Even Vegapunk. The person who arguably understood the most about the forbidden history of the world. Here's an revolution against the system that erased that history. It is almost certain that Dragon has more knowledge of the cosmic stakes than he has revealed. Whether he knows that his son is the specific person the Void Century was waiting for, that question remains open. Dragon has not had a real conversation with his son, not once. He watched him sail away at Town. He has heard about him. Sabo knows Luffy, and Sabo is Dragon's second in command. Dragon has been tracking at minimum the existence of the person his son has become. What does a father say to a child he protected by being absent? There is a version of Dragon's story that ends with him realizing his son has already done, through infectious individual freedom, what 30 years of organized revolution was supposed to do, and what that realization costs him, what it means to him, whether it vindicates or devastates him, is one of the most emotionally loaded unwritten scenes in One Piece. The world government designates Dragon the world's worst criminal, more dangerous, in their official framing, than any Yonko, more threatening than Blackbeard, more feared than any pirate who has ever sailed. Why? He doesn't raid towns. He doesn't steal treasure. He is not confirmed to have personally killed anyone on screen. His army liberates individual islands, yes, but the Yonko hold entire sea
Damn
regions
it.
under tribute and threat of force. By raw military destructiveness, Dragon doesn't rate above Whitebeard or Kaido. The world government fears Dragon because he threatens their legitimacy, not their military strength. Pirates are criminals within the system. They break rules, but they do not challenge whether the rules should exist or whether the people making the rules have the right to make them. Goldie Roger was the pirate king, but his existence didn't undermine the world government's authority to call him a criminal. He played within their definitional framework even while defying it. Dragon challenges whether the people making the rules have any legitimate claim to do so. That is ideological warfare. And ideological warfare against a system whose entire foundation is the manufacture of consent and the erasure of history is the most existential threat that system can face. You can defeat a military force. You cannot defeat an idea that is already inside everyone the system has ever victimized. The world government understood this before Dragon did. They made him the world's most wanted criminal, not because of what he has done, but because of what he represents. He gives us a glimpse at the possibility that the entire framework, the celestial dragons, the heavenly tribute, the constructed history,
I have no
the justice
points.
that is actually occupation, can be named,
Oh,
organized against, and dismantled. That possibility, embodied in a single man who has been building toward it for 30 years, is more dangerous than any army. And Oda has made it the single most feared thing in the entire world. One Piece's thesis, stated through Dragon's
no!
this. The most dangerous thing
I
to
get to
the
keep my
trusted system
tornado, I
is not
guess.
someone who can fight it. It is someone who can make it illegitimate. Dragon captures several of One Piece's central themes, with a precision
I didn't
no
get a
other character
box.
achieved. Freedom, but the specific form of freedom that requires
I'm
structural
going too
dismantlement,
fast.
not just personal liberation.
I
Dragon
got a
is one of the
box.
most patient long game characters in the history of the medium. Oda has spent over 25 years making us wait for payoff, and Dragon is the single biggest promissory note in the entire story. The frustration many of us feel about Dragon's limited presence is
Wow.
frankly the correct response.
Wow.
Oda engineered it deliberately. Every scarce appearance, every sparing line of dialogue, every brief flash of power has been designed to accumulate weight rather than dissipate. Is Dragon a great man? By most measurements, dead. He is disciplined, ideologically focused, and willing to pay personal cost for his great motive. It
This
is
AI.
by no traditional definition, by the unconventional definition he invented for himself, by protecting Lucy from his own legacy, the cost of the relationship with his son. Maybe both cannot be fully reconciled. But Lucy turns to the organized force, or only through the infectious freedom of one man's spirit. The answer is both, and they need each other. Lucy's spirit cracks the road open in ways that 30 years of building he couldn't accomplish alone. Dragon struck creation of becoming a pirate.
Let's see what goes in. Nothing.
In all the regulators can see, it's just pain. That's an arm. I'm just glad you're okay.
This AI.
Shanks' sacrifice inspired He wanted to be a free captain. It's important. I'm pirate too careful of him to control. And with the declaration of becoming a pirate king, the spaces now, in place of the policy, you could say for it. You can give it back to become the free pirate. It's hard to begin with the comics that would pick what he saw. And it all started with his team. Right here. The second beautiful starting piece for one piece. I think it's kind of always that's another popular. We always start out of here, right away from the very beginning to the city, and all it's all filled with crazy things. They're not horrible like other media would suggest. They're actually times in the rough, like plants. Losing you're going to follow this correct. And that is also perfect. I wish I had mine, but it's pretty much pretty simple. It's representation of things you want to do. It's an icon from things to represent what it is to be. Right, great.
person who will always help others before himself. Shanks wants Luffy.
Alright, we gotta try to focus on this thing. I know there's no audio, but it is what it is. Maybe we should just put some music on in the background instead. But I think I'm gonna watch Ruby soon. Yep, hit the box. I last place box. I didn't change my gear layout again, so I need to get coins if I ever made necessary. Coins are very difficult on this track. We're gonna try to snipe somebody's item, I guess. Oh, like yours? Nope. Okay. 7 coins. Rings. This guy's pretty dangerous in the turn here. It's gonna hit some people. You know. It hits me? I thought I was immune. Uh, I laser whiz is pretty sus. I didn't want it to take my item. We still got a monster truck. I probably shouldn't have monster truck. I didn't want to get hit by the tentacle. It's fine. Fourth place box. Now flat on. Some boxes here. No. Okay, well, GG's. Can't get the coins. Face is itchy. I think we gotta go. Oh, we're leaving. At one box, one hope. Get this guy coming out of the monster truck, I guess. Or slime people in the tunnel. It's pretty good. 20 points. Wow. Look at that, bro. Everybody had better items. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do?
The code introduces object that they would pirate is considered to be. Setting moves you up perfectly to belong to the new people, the entire story of One Piece was accident.
One
This quiz. Despite being used in American's Terror leads you up almost 1,000 foot after journeys, we will basically nothing from here on out. And if he is going to appear, which I'm going to add right now with later, it only adds the mysteries of thanks, who he is, what exactly is he doing? But now having revisited his introduction, understanding the role he plays at the beginning of One Piece, and that he's feeling important from the very beginning, you can really wonder, why is his text going clearly? Right, it's the next time
Buggy in the goat room?
rather than the player using these as a part of the journey. But this weird town is present the fact that he reminds us and through a backstory of how both guys level through, you learn this really truth that they once sailed on the same ship. Ocean seems to be the same old Shank. In outfit, hat and all, red hair, whatever. It often doesn't speak like, thanks. What did he do in his youth? How did he himself become great? But changes much the real against the profession itself. Fifty chapters later, when Ricky makes his commitment of transition to world,
Flashing onto the scene with a bounty of 30 million, we quickly cut away to a random island. Here, we watch Mihawk stumble into a jungle's depths. Inside, he finds a familiar red-haired man facing him, saying this certain pirate reminds him of a story Shanks once
Why wouldn't I
told.
change my layout?
In this moment, everyone gasps and Shanks smiles. Luffy has arrived. He's become a pirate. And with
Damn it.
this, a big party breaks out, where Shanks is especially happy to drink. This moment is heartwarming and serves as a simple reminder of who really got this quest going for Luffy. But man, remember how I said mysterious? Yeah, it really gets going with a bang here. This whole scene is clouded with over the top dark shadows, which hit especially hard in the black and white manga. And this is on top of this rival-esque relationship with Mihawk being introduced. As we all know, Mihawk is not just anyone, he's the world's strongest swordsman.
Really?
Holding a rival situationship with him is crazy. It's the very first hint to us that Shanks is not no ordinary pirate. Not only must he be crazy strong, but there must be depths to him we have no idea about. This, amongst other things shown in this time period, only add to these mysterious depths. Later down the line,
This
the
is actually
warlords
really
have
good.
a meeting where a no-name pirate
I'd
sneaks
much
in.
rather
He
have these
recommends a
items for
new
Minecraft,
warlord, one we all know becomes Blackbeard. In this same exact chapter, far away, we
especially
watch a
for
different pirate
the
stumble
Nether.
onto his ship. He carries a letter from Shanks himself, and it's then revealed this letter was from Whitebeard, the strongest man in the world. The letter is rejected. Hearing of this, Shanks can't stop laughing, and he in response readies to go to Whitebeard himself. The government might try and
Nah,
stop him, but who
I need
cares?
rings.
He gets up and leaves with a
Baby, I
smile.
need rings, baby.
Again, Shanks must be incredibly strong if he can smile while going to who the narrator literally just deemed the strongest man in the world. And here I must make it clear this was in chapter 234, well over 100 chapters since that last appearance. We have all but forgotten about him here at this point. And again, it's not for another 200 chapters till we see this conversation that they actually had. The point is, Shanks is not meant to appear properly to us right now. While of course we love him so much for his opening in this story, he's meant to seem more mysterious and far away to us right now. Yet Oda continues to give us a glimpse once in a while. It's screaming one thing: importance. Shanks is important. Don't
Wow.
forget his connection, don't forget his connection to Luffy, and don't forget that message 10 years ago. That thanks to Jazzy is. One piece of father. Oda has to remember that Shanks has an important reason for being my friend. Otherwise, he's right. This is a huge deal. The Navy is in complete panic, and Whitebeard's crew because of their chance. They pass out. His heart needs them. Wrong. These two powerhouses face each other. It's tense. Whitebeard saying things reminds him of the story he got from King. Not thing. Though someone like this was similarly well connected with these events.
True.
Things possibly actual drink. It turning into a nostalgic moment with Whitebeard reflection road. Even White Elite since Greenwood is on Roger's trip, the pirate team trip. That is they mentioned before, it was pirate team towards Roger. Thanks reminds Whitebeard of his daily Roger. This is such a big reveal. Since being part of Roger's crew is another huge part of his character. What I'm gonna have to ask you to hold on and remember for starting out of this, but I promise we're gonna get very deep into this thing later down the line. For now, stay thinking about finding nostalgia. Even mentioning such going back to their time, age 50. You could have imagined it all the time. What can you ask about James Bond? Or Redhead named Steven? Leave it up to the sake of this new era. In particular word choice. The rest of this is how much he believes in Luffy, implying he believes Luffy will be the one to top the new era. Still, besides this, Shanks is a big concern. He points to the scars
I
across his
refuse to
eyes.
change my
They
loadout.
ache.
They were given to him by Blackbeard, and he is Shanks' biggest concern. He demands Whitebeard stop Ace. Now is not the time to pit them against each other. Please, do not go after Blackbeard. Whitebeard angers. Blackbeard killed a crewmate, an unforgivable sin. Shanks more than understands the importance of messing with those deer, and so he knows this will become a fight. Still, he states, no one will be able to stop the new era from spiraling into chaos, implying all hell will break loose if Ace and Blackbeard meet. But with this, their blades clash, cracking and splitting the sky into two, an unfathomable feat, proving their unstoppable strength. Up to now, we've seen Shanks as this inspiration, one so lovable because he's the one who set Luffy up on this journey. But with this scene, the way we're meant to look at Shanks slightly shifts, and it is very intentional. With this meeting, Shanks begins to take on a proper role. If I had to label it, it'd be one of being almost a protector of the new era. This is
I missed
obviously
it.
a very important role to him, as not only did he entrust his hat to Luffy, but he lost his arm for it, saying here it was for the sake of this new era. Shanks also made the big ask of forgetting about chasing Blackbeard despite his despicable crime, implying that it will spiral the new era into chaos. He goes as far as clashing with the world's strongest man for this very point. This is also perfectly timed to the grand narrative of One Piece, as things outside of Shanks are changing tons, proved with the topic of this conversation. Blackbeard, he is going to go on to create unimaginable chaos. That's Blackbeard chaos. My point is, the grand narrative of One Piece is beginning to open up, and as it opens up, Shanks is beginning to shift in that narrative slightly, implying like so many other moments, there is more to Shanks than we could have imagined. Still though, it's clear we're not quite in that final saga where he becomes
Analyzing the
Time
situation.
yet. As from
Wow.
here, it's well over 100 chapters till we see the red-haired captain again.
No, buddy.
The Marineford War is the exact chaos Shanks feared, and now he's shown up himself to stop it, blocking an
Hmm.
admiral's full power strike with nothing but a one-arm backed blade. Everyone at once notices his presence. They fear it. All the Shanks picks up Luffy's lost path, yelling out he's come to end this war. It's also said Shanks fought Kaido, that the regulars just left it, meaning he fought one of the strongest on the sea, as the Frontier was unarmed and still had fire in it. Shanks really is the guy to deal with it. But now he's like on a strong time. He's just losing school, but he's good, free person. He simply actually reviews thoughts of all, including his head with the obvious. He can't see this right now as it was following guarantee. Although all this reminder for Shanks and how much he needs to Luffy. With this though, Shanks stands proud, fighting against the they were lawful like forever. But if anyone still has it in him, the NEC is fight. Blackbeard decides to back out of things, leaving that the end of the fall. I would know we're scared, they would appear evidence of sacrifice. For the stipulation, see that the barrier was more than within years. Right before, negotiations was attempting to protect it in the era. The one stopped it from becoming worse. After all, after they found the cause before death and chaos, the world was certainly big things that day. The death of a good treatment didn't go back. That vacuum shouldn't be good. Not to mention, last year, they didn't think he had become an all-powerful force with a crew full of monsters. And just before this, nobody even knew he existed. Nixon's here were very few. I can't cook with that stuff. The fight shows his efforts. Turbulent people can be done. Right now, the last thing to intense is maybe for a birthday at least. Or I think it's sneaky. He babies it when he was less up his back and such. Frederick Roger would think he would have ran away or let himself cry. But by me, Shanky's words for Luffy. Again, protection, help, or we both distinct by experiencing victory by doing difficult things with tears. All is alright. We have to overcome it. This scene is placed to remind us of the weight Shanks carries. He not only stopped this war, but was allowed to walk in and bury the dead. Dude is a monster in the One Piece world, and Oda's gotta make sure we know that. Yet we're also given lines that highlight Shanks wants to see Luffy grow, and in turn, the new era, allowing these new challengers to grow and flourish in this era of chaos that is only going to get crazier, still seems to be his goal. We also get another mention of Roger, Shanks seemingly speaking about him in a nostalgic tone. And maybe it's just me, but it kind of reminds me of how he speaks about Luffy. Perhaps alluding to him and Roger's relationship. Maybe they were how Luffy and Shanks are right now. But with this, in Shanks' style, of course, it's 300 whole chapters till we see the red-haired pirate captain again.
And of course, this appearance is two small panels, ones you can't even really consider appearance if you ask me. Like, it's not even enough to make a
Really?
page. Luffy receives a grand bounty of 1.5 billion berries. He's in the race for a potential emperor, and so all the emperors react, including Shanks, stating they'll be meeting soon with a smile. Yeah, that's it. All we get. Though it's like what Oda has done so many times up to now. He gives us Shanks randomly, once in 200 chapters, just enough to remind us of his impact on Luffy and that Shanks is very much important. But here, Shanks states they'll be meeting soon, him acknowledging that Luffy is indeed becoming a great
Wow,
pirate.
thank you.
And remember, of course, they can't meet till Luffy does indeed become great. It's a very sweet way to remind us of this bond. And while, of course, this is a very cute moment, in the next
Wow.
moment, it becomes shocking. The reverie is in full swing, yet behind closed doors, a meeting is requested with the government's elders. They granted it, though saying this being in a dark cloak should have nothing to do with politics. And as the panels move down, under the cloak is a red-haired man, stating nothing but that there's a pirate they must speak about. But wait, this is really weird. Everything says this is Shanks, but we don't actually get any defining traits of Shanks. Everything to tell us this is him is covered with a black cloak. There's no scars, no sword, and we can't even see the silly pants he wears. And then perhaps more alarming, this is only 4 chapters after Shanks smiles at Luffy's poster. You're telling me we get 2 center stage Shanks appearances in 4 chapters? Something just isn't adding up. But to play devil's
I
advocate,
got it.
this is quite a bombshell. A red-haired man, one we are going to assume in this moment, is Shanks, our red-haired star captain. He pops up to speak to the
Oh, are you
figureheads of the government
serious?
itself. And so we ask, what topic could be so important? So important that the government itself would ignore his piracy and allow him to speak on. Is this more attempting to protect the new era?
Are you
Stop Latin's
serious,
wrath?
bro?
Or scarily enough, could it maybe even be
How was I
about
supposed to
Luffy?
know?
Somebody spoke about
So
this
annoying.
movie. I'm sorry, but this tree is going to be another breadcrumb and I'll see the whole package. Now, there's what happened. So, I'm going to actually give you some answers to another breadcrumb. I think there's plenty of time for the biggest question about Shanks, his youth, his connection with Roger, and how the Shroud doesn't just resemble Shanks, passengers with Luffy, or Roger, or the pirate. The riddle involving the defense for one story there. The group gets into debate. The brothers, the pregnant that soon after the downfall of Nixon. Big Fade Trio, Hogan, this has got to be a sign. This discussion which goes for forever. We're back to it. Thanks to things on the ship. Becoming particularly clearly because nothing good on the ship. This is worth the fun. You getting brought up right next to Roger. You have some stand relation got a lot of feelings. Great. It's kind of from us to the truth of the world. Bond himself probably this very idea to his core. Shanks was also able to see tons of the world while understanding the fact the words of not to mention learning many traits people was never actually idea. Those words could be found him. Roger found the last siren ready to go. But Buggy was sick. The Sphinx decided to stay on the visit. He didn't take the voice of his go. He was determined there was anything good. No one was like the field then goes out go. Roger made it. He laughed, and upon returning, to Roger and Shanks said, shared words, here to Shanks visited Roger's house. All these things bought Roger to pound beef, they were touring for whatever the grand trip was. And that's me, some to be doing that matches and whatever the place was. His family Roger thinks some, please. Roger was then executed. That day, Shanks stated he changed his mind. He didn't feel like going. He'll be a pirate. But he won't go to the final island. All spoke with Roger's hat on his head. It would seem that whatever happened when Roger returned, whatever they spoke about, it changed
Minecraft.
Shanks. The likely assumption is that when Roger spoke to Shanks and passed the straw hat down, he revealed the truth of what he saw. That in the end, they were too early. It's also easy to assume that he told Shanks a lot more, as by what Roger had already said to us, well, he too would have been too early. The thing we know by name is the One Piece, Roger was too early to properly achieve it, saying that it'll be 10 years till the birth and 15 to grow. Basically, bare minimum, it would be 25 years till the being who would grab this item would appear. Roger himself was on limited time due to illness, and Shanks was already born. While he, of course, was young and had the world in his hands, he wasn't the one the world was specifically asking for. It also answers that weird moment from before. If Roger told Shanks that he wasn't the one, well, of course, Shanks wouldn't be instantly ready to go look for the One Piece himself. The key thing here, though, is that this is when the hat was passed on, when Roger revealed this assumed truth to Shanks. And in the way the hat is a symbolic passing of wills from Shanks to
There's a
Luffy,
mushroom
becoming a great
behind
pirate like he
me.
is, you can see it as Roger passing his will to Shanks. Roger wanted Shanks to become a great pirate
Am
like
I
him.
serious?
Of course, that's the obvious. But truth is, this will is hinted to be far more grand than just becoming a great pirate. You can phrase it so many different ways, but in reality, it seems that Roger's will resembles finding the one who will be the one, being the being who will truly be the one to find the One Piece, completing the treasure Roger could never see for himself. The hat is meant to fall into the hands of the freest man in the world, one like Roger and the one the One Piece itself is waiting for. It is a symbol meant to be passed on to the one we can call Joy Boy. Joy Boy was the first pirate in
Really?
history. He was a great and was the one who left the One Piece behind. He was defeated with the creation of the world government and promptly erased from history. Yet, of course, traces exist. Roger proved this as he sailed freely and reached Joy Boy's final island, laughing, and discovering that whatever Joy Boy left, they needed a certain someone for it. Someone you can likely assume is very near or like Joy Boy himself. After all, it makes sense. Who else would be able to use his treasure? Well, how does Joy Boy wrap back into Roger, Luffy, and Shanks, and
Bro,
the Straw Hat?
I can't believe I
Well, of
lose.
course, Luffy, the one the hat was passed to, has since unlocked the true power of his devil fruit, revealing it wasn't actually the gum gum fruit he ate from
I
Shanks that
can't
day.
grab
In
it.
reality, it's a human fruit, modeled Nika, the sun god, a form all who know refer to as Joy Boy. In every single moment possible, it is told to us that Luffy has become what Joy Boy
Come
was.
on,
Even
dude.
crazier,
Hit the
it's revealed
pad.
in this same arc that the gum gum fruit was stolen from the government ship, stolen by none other than Shanks. Why he deliberately attacked this government ship, one that must be